continuing with how to become a sales superstar. There are 21 keys. We are going one by one at a time, and now we have reached key number 8 and key number 9 is what we are going to do today, based on a training by Brian Tracy. Key number 8 is something called the THEIDA sales model. We'll look at what is the idea sales model. And key number 9 is relationship selling. What does relationship selling mean? We'll look at both. So key number 8, out of the 21 keys to peak performance selling, the THEIDA sales model. What is the THEIDA sales model? So it is like a very basic sales process. Okay, basically, this set of what we are going to talk just now, the THEIDA, has been successful throughout the history of mankind. Wherever there has sales happened, I mean, they may not have formally named this as THEIDA and all that in the past, but it has been successful throughout history. And what does THEIDA stand for? So it is it's an acronym. A stands for attention. I stands for interest. D stands for desire. And last A stands for action. Typically in this sequence, it needs to evolve. So we will look at each of these and what is the significance of each. Now, basically, if you are having problems in sales, it is because of a lapse in any one of these 4 areas, one or more of these areas. Okay, so understand this and look at if there are, whichever, you find that you're struggling with sales, look at which of these areas are weak and look at how to build your skill there. A for attention. Now, this is very, very important, and we kind of many times, we tend to disregard this. Before you can sell to someone, you first need to break their preoccupation. See, remember that people are not waiting to have a conversation with you and find out, unless they are having a serious health problem. In our context, it is wellness formulations. Unless there is a serious health problem and they have looking for a solution, people are not waiting for you to come and talk to them and all that. So they are already preoccupied with their life, their problems, whatever is happening in their life. And you have to break that preoccupation and get them to listen to you. Without doing this, if you try to go to the next steps, you will fail. And we have our first sales experience. This was the point where it failed, and we did not even understand or realize that this is happening. So you have to break the preoccupation, get them to listen to you and to pay attention to you. So it's very, very important that you ensure that you have their attention before you start presenting everything else. Okay. Remember today that everybody is busy. Okay. And so every sales call is an interruption. As far as they're concerned, they will look at it as an interruption of something else that the customer is doing. Whatever they may be doing in their life, whatever we are trying to do with them, it is an interruption for them. So therefore, getting their attention is I can't emphasize it well enough. So I will just tell you the incident that happened. I probably have told you earlier, but let me repeat it for the benefit of some of you who may not know of it. The first person, after we became distributors, I'm talking of almost 2.5, 3 years ago, the first person that we went to, a friend, a Maharashtrian, who's staying very close to our place, we walked down to her house. She's like obese. Okay. So we thought that we will offer this possibility of this ice slim, this weight loss thing to her. We went to her house and, general chit chat happened. And then we were trying to talk to her about the product. And she was preoccupied with playing with her cat. There was a cat in the house and she was like running around the cat, playing with the ball and this and that. And we are trying to get her attention to listen to us. And we kind of tried to tell something, said a few things. She obviously did not listen because she was preoccupied, right? So please understand, and that conversation was actually a disaster to the extent that we came out of the house after that. She gave us something to eat, we ate and all that. The conversation that we wanted to have did not happen in any meaningful way. Okay. And we came out of her gate and Sujata burst out crying there on the road, saying that I do not want to do this. Mujhe nahi karna hai ye. I mean, she felt like, it was such a big failure. And she was really feeling terrible by the experience. It was a Terrible experience. So please understand that before you try to talk about the product, ensure that attention is there. And if the attention is not there, please postpone the conversation. There is no point in going through the rest of the conversation without this attention. Right. So to get the customer's attention, one of the strategies is asking questions or presenting an idea which is aiming at a specific benefit that the customer wants, which means it presupposes that you already know what they want. Okay, so so one of the very important things, they say that before we start either business presentation or product presentation, it is very, very important to know what they want. Without knowing what they want, if you try to present what you're having, it may not just fit, because they will just not get it, because they will not see the correlation, right? So ask questions or present an idea which is aiming at specific benefits. So part of your initial questions can be just probing questions to find out what they want. Okay, so it has to be a specific benefit that the customer wants, or there is a specific need that the customer has. These questions, you have to get you have to get this, their interest only when you touch this. This is what they call the hot button. It's an emotional button. If you find it and if you touch it, the attention, the focus, everything will dramatically change. The unsaid question of the customer. What is the unsaid question? You have to answer that question. The customer will never ask this question. Okay. But this is what the customer is saying. Why should I listen to you? Do you understand the significance of this question? You should be able to give the customer an answer without them asking it. Why should they listen to you? For that, you have to address a specific benefit or a specific need of the customer. Right. Now, I is for interest. Now, once you have aroused their, captured their attention, you have to arouse their interest. Okay. Now, this you can do by showing specific features of your product. What what the product functioning is, how it works, what are the features, what are the studies, and how people have benefited and all that, right? And making a connection to improving the life or the work of the customer. That means their life should improve. That correlation has to be made, because at the end of the day, everybody looks at it as what is in it for me, right? Whatever, you may have a fantastic product, you may say great things, but what is in it for me, right? So that connection you have to establish. That's how you arouse their interest. The next is D, desire. So you do that by showing the benefits that the customer will enjoy by using the product. So the one of the very powerful things that all our uplines repeatedly they have said is that much more than talking about the fantastic features or the health benefits or the technical things that this is there, that is there, you have to tell that, because that is where they will get the confidence about it. Much more than that is telling them stories. So how good a storyteller you are is the power of your sales that will happen. So what is the storytelling? What we are telling a story is that it could be you, it could be somebody else. I had this kind of a problem. Okay. And I happened to come across this through this friend of mine. I came across this product. I used this for this period of time. And this is the result that I got. This is the basic sketch. You convert this into a story. Any of you, all of you, whoever, either you have had first-hand experiences or you know of others who have had first-hand experiences, you can use them to create stories of how it has benefited other people, right? This process of telling stories, okay, is what will arouse the desire. Okay, so tell them the benefit that the customer will enjoy by using the product, right? So remember this very clearly. Features will arouse the interest, okay, but it is desire which will cause the prospect to buy. So just arousing interest is not good enough. The desire to buy has to be aroused. Without that, the buying decision will not get taken. Right. Now, if your prospect is saying, I want to think it over, let me see, I'll talk to my husband, any of these things, when they say, what they are really saying is, you have not aroused my buying desire high enough for me to proceed just now. Okay, so if you are having such, it's not, and remember this, we all will go through these processes that, we will experience this kind of thing, learn from it, improve upon it the next time. So in the process of doing only, you will learn. Okay, so having failures along this journey is a perfectly normal thing, and it is, I would say, it's a perfectly wonderful thing. If on that first day we had not had that failure, that intense failure, we went and it became a disaster. Okay, later we would not have, if just things had happened, much more effortlessly, so much of the learning thereafter that happened may not have happened for us, I'm saying. So I'm saying every failure, please look at it as a stepping stone for your success, right? So if your prospect is saying, I want to think it over, what you're saying is, you have not aroused my buying desire strongly enough to make a decision just now, right? So desire is over. Now you got their attention, you aroused their interest, you aroused their desire. But that is not good enough. The final step is A for action. After doing all this, okay, what you have to do is you have to ask the customer for a definite buying decision. This is like, those, if any of you have been into the space of digital marketing, they have this word called call for action. Okay, there has to be a specific call for action. You have to specifically ask them, okay, now when do you want to buy the product? Or, something that will take them into a decision to buy. So take an action on your offer. That thing you have to ask, that asking is very critical, right? And this is the point where the sale is closed. If you are stopping at any of the previous stages, you are missing out, because and the sale will get closed only when this call to action happens. Taking action on all of the above, but not having a call to action is completely wasted effort. So remember, AIDA, AIDA in that sequence: attention, then interest, then desire, and finally action. You have to get them to take action, right? So this is the AIDA model. For you to become a top salesperson, you need to become an expert in all these 4 areas. Okay, so you have to analyze yourself carefully, and the suggestion of Brian Tracy is, grade yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 of how well you are doing today. You can look at each of these areas and say, how well am I doing? Okay, ask, you can take the help of your peers or your uplines and take their support, ask them to grade you as to how well you're doing, and focus on your skill building. See, so many times we've been telling again and again and again, there are specific skills to build. Focus on building the skills and identify which is the area which is the weakest, build your skill in that area. But in general, focus on building your skills in all the areas. In general, what happens is, typically for anybody, nobody is perfect in all the areas. There will be, many of the areas they'll be comfortable, something they'll be weak. You will find that this is true for all of us, it's true. The important thing is to identify that. And what tends to happen, no, our comfort zone, whichever is our weakest area, that is the area we will try and avoid. Invariably, we'll try and avoid it. We will try and not do that, try and give some justification on why you can't do that now. All these things will happen. For that, you have to be willing to cross over into your zone of discomfort. That means when the mind tells you that, okay, let me not do this, do this call today, I will do it tomorrow. Okay, cross over that, get into that zone of discomfort and take that action now, because that is the only way you will break your hesitation. Right. So that was as far as the AIDA model. Now, the 9th key to peak performance selling is relationship selling. What is relationship selling? All selling today and in future depends on the quality of the relationship that you build with your customer. Just remember this very, very clearly, that at the end of the day, it is the quality of your relationship which is deciding how much you sell, how well you sell. It is depending on the quality of your relationship. Just remember this. So today, tomorrow, anytime in future, in whatever fantastic technology may come, at the end of the day, finally, the quality of your relationship that you build is very important. Okay. See, there are complexities related to our product and the market. Okay. For example, there are fake products in the market. There are ineffective products in the market or spurious products in the market. There are too many things that are there, or there may be competing products in the market, right? Now you think of yourself, put yourself in the shoe of a customer, put yourself, just visualize, go back and visualize the first time that you heard about our products. Okay, it must have been from me or from, one of your friends, somebody told you about it, right? Now, on what basis did you finally take that decision that, yes, let me try it out? If you carefully look back, there will be somebody, whoever spoke to you, somebody whom you trusted, whom there was a certain quality of a relationship. Based on that, you took a decision. Just look back and see. And therefore, I'm saying that relationship building is critical. So basically, customers cannot make an accurate judgment. They have never heard of this product in the market. There are too many products in the market. On what basis do they take any decision? It's very difficult for them to take a decision. So then what are they going to depend on? They are unable to make an accurate judgment about what it is that you're selling, because they don't know the product, they have not heard of the brand, nothing. First time they're hearing it, right? And therefore, the customer depends on what they feel or how they feel about you. That is what is going to decide whether they make that sale. Their what shall I say, trust in the product or their feeling about the product is completely and directly dependent on how they feel about you. See, for a customer today, relationship comes first. Okay, it is more important than the product in the making of the buying decision. That means it's not just about our relationship here. You just look back, so many things that you've bought from so many people earlier in the past. Okay, it may be insurance, it may be, you'll think of various things. Okay, your car, whatever it is. The relationship of that relationship manager or that salesperson who was in front of you, how warm he was, how involved he was, all these things are, if you just look back, those are all things that have influenced your decision. So remember that for a customer, relationship comes first. It's much more important than the product in making the buying decision. This is not just some random statement that I am making or Brian Tracy is making. There is 20 years of research, okay, and there have been like extensive interviews with 55,000 customers, customer interviews. The body of research, what it is showing is this: the bigger the sale and the longer the purchase decision is going to last. That is, after they make the decision to buy, how long are they going to keep buying? That is dependent. The most important component in that is the relationship at the beginning of this whole process. Even before the product was introduced, that relationship, that is what is going to decide, and particularly this is more important if the value of the sale is bigger, or if the decision to stay in that purchase is a long-term decision. This relationship at the beginning is what is going to make all the difference. So if you look at our products are not just some cheap products that, okay, people can just take a decision, chalo kharid lete hain. There is a cost. And therefore, this particular thing applies very, very strongly to us. Just remember. So what is this relationship selling model? It is basically based on trust. So basically, we are working on developing trust. So how to develop trust? First of all, the first step is ask the customer about his or her needs and listen intently to their answers. I'm going to do a session after this series is over. I'm going to do a session just on this whole aspect of asking questions. Okay, there's a very, very powerful content. You'll understand how powerful it is, this whole process of asking questions. So ask the question. See, that's why you remember at the beginning we said that before you start talking about the product, you need to know what is the customer's requirement. So how will you know? You ask the customer about his or her needs and listen intently to the answers. Okay. Now, the more the good questions you ask and the better you listen, the more the customer will trust you. Okay. And the more the customer will open up to you. I'm sure all of us have heard that much more than us talking, it is important that we are good listeners. I'm sure all of us have heard this, right? Put it in practice. That ask a question and just shut up. Let them talk. Let the customer talk. Let them express whatever they want to express, and listen carefully. What are the things they are saying? What are the emotions expressed? What are the pain points they have? If you are able to ask the right kind of questions and you are able to listen intently, you will find out all the answers. Now, here's the interesting thing. If the customer trusts you adequately, he or she will tell you everything that you need to know. What is it for what? Everything that you need to know, either to make the sale or to take a decision that this customer is not a good prospect. We are not saying that they are bad people or, whatever. Just that they are not a good prospect for our product. To be able to take that decision of whether you can go ahead and make the sale or you have to just back off with that customer, if we can ask the right questions and listen intently and you build a relationship, the customer will tell you everything that you need to know. You don't have to use your brain at all. They will tell you everything. Okay, that is the power of relationship selling. The best salespersons are always relationship experts. Okay, that means they focus all their energy and emotion on building a relationship. And remember that building the relationship is the first step they take, even before they begin talking about the product. Okay, so remember, just look at how can you become a relationship expert. I mean, even from having a fantastic quality of life, if you are powerful, if you are good at building relationships, wherever you are thrown in your life, you will find that you can very quickly be able to handle your life very effortlessly. How quickly can you build relationship with whoever is around you, in whatever be the situation? That powerfully your life you can lead. Just remember this. So best salespersons are very good relationship experts, and they focus their energy and emotion first on building the relationship even before they start talking about the product. And therefore, they sell far more than average. Okay. And therefore, they get more sales. And you just imagine somebody who trusts you, they will even refer other people to you. So far more referrals will also come. And for this, the relationship is the most important thing. Okay. And thus they become the top salespersons. And if they can do it, you can also do it, and you should do the same. Listen to this quote. If you want to build a long-term successful enterprise, this is not even, we are not talking of just one sale. We are talking of a big enterprise that you want to build, a big company or some huge institution that you want to build. If you want to build a long-term successful enterprise, then remember, you do not close a sale. Remember, the people use the word, no, close a sale. I've closed the sale. Remember, you don't close a sale. You open a relationship. These are the words of this lady named Patricia Fripp, who's a presentation skill expert. She's a speaker and all that. So this is something, very beautiful words that I came across. So I thought I should share it with you. I'm repeating it again. If you want to build a long-term successful enterprise, you don't close a sale, you open a relationship. I want you to throw your mind back and look at that key number, probably 4, that we spoke about on being professionalism, where we said, be a consultant, right? Being a consultant, if you are really a true consultant, right? You are trying to solve their problem. That is a part of this. Opening a relationship and maintaining a relationship is a part of that. So remember that being a consultant is also connected to this. So I hope this was interesting, eye-opening, and there was a lot of learning. There are many more keys to follow, so we are going to continue. Thank you very much.